All right, so just to be respectful of everybody's time, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good evening. My name is Athena Sanchez. I am the Public Information Officer for the City of Phoenix Water Services Department. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I know we're all really busy right now, so we really appreciate everybody participating and logging in and listening to our presentation. We will have staff available from the Drought Pipeline Project. Our construction manager, or project manager, forgive me, Clayton Freed is on the line, and he will be available at the end of the presentation to answer any questions that you may have related to Drought Pipeline. On the presentation today, we do have staff from the Arts and Culture Department as well as the artists, and they will be providing information to you on this project. So I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to Katie, and she's going to go ahead and get started. Just a couple things for you to keep in mind. We are going to do all of the questions at the end of the presentation. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and submit it in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. If you're on the mobile device, I believe that there's a way that you can raise your hand, and I will unmute you to let you answer or ask your question. If you don't get a chance to answer your question now or think of something later, there will be a contact page at the end of the presentation that has the email. It's also on the informational card that you may have seen online or that you may have received in the mail, that you can always email the staff and ask questions about the art project. So yeah, I'll let Katie go ahead and get started. So thank you again so much for joining us.
Thanks, Athena. I really appreciate it. Can I get a thumbs up, Athena, if you can hear me? Is everything good on my end? Okay, great. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this meeting about the Drought Pipeline Public Art Project. This presentation is being recorded and will be available on the Drought Pipeline website for you to reference later. Again, my name is Katie Bayaris. I'm a Public Art Project Manager with the City of Phoenix Office of Arts and Culture, and we really look forward to being with you this evening. Before I introduce the artists, I want to give you just a little bit of a background into our public art program and why the Office of Arts and Culture Public Art is involved with the Drought Pipeline Project. Back in 1986, the public art program was established by a percent for art ordinance, meaning that anytime the city builds a capital project, like a city infrastructure project, 1% of the money in that capital budget is allowed to be allocated to incorporate an artist into that capital improvement project. The Drought Pipeline is a very large capital project that is going to help support the city of Phoenix and its needs later on. And so it was eligible for incorporation of public art, and that's why we have come alongside to bring in an artist and help beautify the project a little bit as it is impacting many of our neighbors and residents in Phoenix. So that's just a little bit of a background. Now I want to talk a little bit specifically about the two locations where there will be art in this project. The public art portion of Drought Pipeline is actually two different projects in one. You can see the locations of both of these on this slide. They are not close enough to see the two projects together. The one we're talking about tonight is at 20th Street. It's 20th Street in Myrtle, but it's actually 20th Street and Northview Avenue at the corner of that little intersection. The other location is around 22nd Street and Maryland Avenue. That is near Granada Park. We presented the 22nd Street and Maryland Avenue concept for that art piece at a previous meeting because that's moving along a little bit faster in its construction timeline. You can find that presentation. It was also recorded on January 12th. You can find that on the Drought Pipeline website as well. Mary, our artist, has also put it on her website as well. So you can see what that artwork is going to look like by watching that previous presentation. Tonight, we're going to focus just on the 20th Street and Northview location. And so let's talk more about that. The wall at 20th Street in Northview, before the construction began on Drought Pipeline, was an existing sound and screen wall that was viewable on both sides, for both State Route 51 freeway and the Pearl Charles Trail, which is a part of the Phoenix Mountain Preserve Trail system. The wall was designed to be a concrete wall. This new wall will be a cast-in-place concrete wall with a form liner designed by the artist Mary Schindel. The image that I'm showing here is actually one of Mary Schindel's previous public artworks that she's just recently completing for the Valley Metro system. This image you're looking at here is actually a precast concrete wall. But what I want you to see is the type of pattern on this wall. This is what is called a bas relief pattern. So it is actually coming out slightly from the flat surface of the wall. And that's what our cast in place wall at 20th Street is going to look like. It has that texture coming out of it. Mary, the artist, has been working closely with our project team and the water department, as well as with members from the community, to create a design that fits the needs of the project and hopefully fits very well within the neighborhood. It will be a cast in place wall with a custom bas relief pattern designed specifically for this site. It will not exist anywhere else. And now I want to introduce Mary, and she's going to tell you what the concept is about and show you some drawings. Mary was born in Oklahoma, and she moved to Arizona when she was 5 years old. She was educated in Mesa, Arizona, and she earned her BFA in painting from Northern Arizona University and an MFA in drawing from Arizona State University. She worked as an artist in schools in Arizona and also Nebraska, and taught drawing at the university level. After living several years in other parts of the country, she returned to Arizona in 1989, where she has lived ever since. Her art is very much drawing based and includes some limited edition printmaking, small and large scale drawings, installation, and public art that you see examples of here. Her work has been included in national and international exhibitions, and some of her recent public art commissions include for the City of Tempe, the City of Chandler, the Valley Metro Light Rail System, the City of Goodyear, and Scottsdale Public Art. In her studio work, Mary explores the intersection between digital and hand-drawn media and often uses desert environment themes in unconventional landscape formats and materials. So now I want to introduce Mary and let her take it away.
Thank you, Katie. Can everyone hear me? Yay, okay. I'm happy to share this project with you this evening. You're looking at a simulation of what the artwork on the 20th Street wall will look like. The temporary working title is Monsoon Poppies and Blooming Bunny Ears. I'm using botanical imagery to connect the artwork to the purpose of the drought pipeline. Placed at either end of this artwork, you see a grouping of monsoon poppies. These are flowers which bloom only in the aftermath of a heavy monsoon rain. They are dormant the rest of the year, and they only last a short time after the rain. They are a member of the creosote family, actually, not really a true poppy. I am using these poppies to illustrate the effect of water in our desert environment and the function of the pipeline to bring water to the parts of the city that need it. The original wall had cactus planted at its base. Some of you may have been familiar with the original wall. And the landscape architects are planting bunny ear cactus at the base of the new wall. I'm using these cactus in the center of the art to refer to the previous plantings, which were done by a community member, and I want to tie them to the new landscape design. This was a neighbor who did the planting on his own, and I want to refer to that in this art piece, basically for the effort and the spirit of his contribution to beautifying the neighborhood. Next. Here are some photos of the plants used in the design. You may have bunny ears in your own landscape, as I do, and you may have seen the monsoon poppies in the summer and assumed they were the usual poppies that we see each spring, but they're very different. They look almost identical, however, and you can see on this couple of photographs that these blooms are sort of a compact little bloom, but I've taken them and I've blown them up very large. Next. So this is a drawing of the wall showing how it fits into the site and the elevation. As you can see, the wall will have artwork on both sides. You can see the east wall and the west wall. The scale of the wall and the repeating image are what will create a neighborhood landmark for pedestrians, drivers, and bicyclists. It's designed to work with all viewers from all perspectives. The dimensions of the artwork are 8 feet by 60 feet. The wall is a little bit taller than that. It has a sand finish for the background. And you will notice that there's very little empty space, or what we call in art negative space, in this design. And the reason for that is, well, first of all, I like to fill the space with artwork anyway, but the other reason is the more complex the piece of public art is, the less likely, especially on a flat piece like this, that it's going to be vandalized or tagged. So that's the other reason for it. But you get a good idea. It's divided into 3 sections with the poppies on each side and the cactus in the very center. And the cactus are blooming in this, but you can see they also have sort of a very small, compact bloom. The poppies also, for me, sort of look like umbrellas, which is another sort of reference to water or rain. And basically, I'm just trying to tie the drought pipeline, its purpose, and the whole idea of us getting water to where we need it in the city into a piece of art. So thank you. Next.
Thanks, Mary. I want to reiterate what Mary said about covering the wall with as much pattern and texture as possible to try to prevent graffiti. There has been some concern from other community members about that, and so I want to reassure the community as well that we will be doing some testing of graffiti, anti-graffiti coatings. We'll create a mock-up of the wall and test some of those anti-graffiti coatings to determine which will be best for that. And again, we are going to plant some low prickly cactus and desert plants to try to mitigate and keep people away from touching the surface of the wall as well, to help prevent any sort of vandalism to the wall. That is our presentation for the concept on this wall. So we'll stop now, and Athena is going to moderate any questions that we might have.
So the only comment that we've gotten so far is from a resident that looks like it says, "This is beautiful. I walk by here almost every day, as do many of our neighbors, and this will be a treat to have in our neighborhood. Just lovely." So I haven't received any other questions pertaining to the art itself. I'm going to give it, just a couple minutes and to see if anybody else has any questions. Another comment that just came in says, "Good design, thanks to Mary Schindel." So far, no questions. Very nice. That's all. This is the next comment we have in there. Let's see. Can we go back? I have another question. Okay, a couple questions. Let's see. Is this a new wall or an existing wall? I believe that came in as you were presenting. So can we just clarify that for the attendees?
Sure, I can answer. It's a new wall.
Perfect. And then can you put the picture back up? I believe the picture they're referring to is of the design. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, sure. So this, I want to point out, there was a wall there previously. I'm trying to find the slide that shows it. And that wall has been torn down. this wall was actually removed during the demolition for the project. And so we will be recasting the new wall, and I will pull up the design again. Boop. There it is. Come on. Here's.
Okay. So we'll leave that up for just a couple minutes. I think there's a little bit of confusion about which meeting this is. This is the meeting for the public, the drought pipeline project, the wall art project along 20th Street, just to clarify for, looks like someone may have been confused about which project or which meeting it is that you're attending. Can you go into a little bit more detail on how you're going to prevent the graffiti? I think, Katie, you were explaining that, so if you could just walk us through that one more time, and then how we came to the process of the design in order to prevent some of that graffiti.
Yeah, first of all, I'm going to show a picture of the bas relief texture on the wall. So the wall will have texture all over it, which makes it unattractive for someone who wants to spray paint or tag another pattern on top of it, because it makes it more difficult to paint on. So that's the wall itself, and the design itself will be a graffiti mitigation technique. We also will be testing out some anti-graffiti coatings. I'm going to show my slide there, though it doesn't really show any particular product, but we will test out a couple different types of anti-graffiti coatings. We will be planting deterring landscape in front of the wall. So if anyone wants to tag it, they will get a whole lot of painful spikes into their skin if they get close enough to the wall to paint it. And we also have the ability to remove things should anything ever happen. Because it's just a concrete wall, it's much easier to clean than if we were to actually paint it with some sort of mural with paint. Once a graffiti mural is painted over, you have to come back and fully repaint it. In this case, we will be able to remove it and just return it back to its original regular surface coating, because it will be just a concrete wall.
Thanks, Katie, for that explanation. Can you clarify the graffiti removal? Will that damage the current design there if you need to remove using that product? Okay.
It should not.
Was that it? Okay, perfect. Let's see. Thank you. Apply. Okay, perfect. Let's see. I think there was a bit of confusion because that slide with the anti-graffiti showed coating as we were talking, like anti-coating and a removal product, but we're incorporating both just to clarify for the group. Let's see. I think I have one more question. When is this projected to be completed?
We expect to begin construction on these walls later in 2022, and construction will probably be completed in the first or early second quarter of 2023. That's sort of our range of time that we're expecting to be constructing these projects.
Okay, perfect. So I just have a comment from a resident. I'm a resident that lives right here and will see it every day out our window. There was no graffiti on the prior wall on the east side, so I hope the same thing will be in this case with this beauty. Many thanks. And when is it expected to be completed? You just answered that one for us. So I do have a couple comments I just wanted to make sure I shared with the group. so where can I find a recording of this meeting? The recording that we are recording the meeting right now, and we'll have this available on our drought pipeline website. It's Phoenix.gov /drought pipeline, and you can view it on there. It'll be available as a like a video YouTube link. Let's see the next one. Good design, thanks to Mary Shindell. We already answered this one. Thank you for the anti-graffiti effort. So thank you so much for the team for the anti-graffiti efforts for that one. Let's see. Thank you for thank you for taking time to explain the project to the public. I appreciate the natural elements and the neighbors' contributions in Mary's inspiration. Another comment, beautiful. I am excited to have this steps away from my home. And then someone else put pretty, thank you. Yeah, it looks like, okay, no, this is, just again to clarify this meeting, this is not a call to artists. This is a meeting for the Drought Pipeline Project, the wall art project along 20th Street. So this is very specific. The artist has already been selected, and this is the design that Mary was presenting to us. There may be another public meeting or another meeting around the same time that you are looking for. I will email you right after this to see if I can track down any of that information, because this meeting is not a call to artists. So I'll check in with my arts friends over here and see if there's anything that's going on that you may be trying to log into. So I apologize for any confusion, but again, this is for the Drought Pipeline Project, and this artist, Mary, has already been selected. So let's see. I'm going to give it, oh, sorry, Katie, did I cut you off?
There's a question that's come into my chat box too, that says, are there any calls to artists coming up? That we currently don't have any posted, but there will be some coming up in the fall of this year. We don't have any launching until probably September, but if you go to Phoenix.gov/arts, you can sign up for our email list and you'll be notified of those that are coming out later this fall.
Thank you so much for that, Katie. And I will email the participant that's asked about that and send you that information so you can have it, the link available in your inbox. The participant said, I misunderstood the meeting purpose, but I enjoyed seeing her work. So thank you, Mary, for sharing. Again, so we'll give it another minute or two. Yeah, give it another minute or two. If there are any other questions. Katie, do you mind putting up the slide that has the contact information, just so people can jot that down in case they think of something at the end, or if they think of any questions?
So I do not have a slide, Athena, that has the contact information in the presentation. But
no worries.
On the invite, I can share the invite itself that will have our contact information on it from the Office of Arts and Culture. And if you email, let me pull it up real quick. I'm trying to find it.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Katie.
Okay.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
Okay, we didn't have it in the presentation. You can contact us for any arts questions at 602-262-4637 or email arts.culture@phoenix.gov. And those questions you can ask directly for me. And they will get those questions to me. If you have water or drought pipeline related questions, you can use the Drought Pipeline website, or if you want to talk to a real person, contact the Arts and Culture, and I'll send you where you need to go as well.
All right, so it doesn't look like I'm seeing any other questions coming in. Katie, you don't have anything else in your inbox?
Let me double check my chat and see. Doesn't look like it. Yep. I think we're all good.
Great. All right. Well, thank you, Mary, for sharing your work, and thank you so much, Katie, for having us here. And if anything else comes up, always feel free to reach out to us. This recording will be available online within the next day or two. And so again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Oh, one more comment just came in. Mary, do you have social media channels that you'd like to share so that way they can follow your work? If you
Certainly. Yes, you can go to Mary Shindell, just type in Mary Shindell for my art page on Facebook. And I have a section under work that is listed as work in progress. And that's what this project is under right now. And then as we start construction on both of the projects, I'll be putting up construction pictures also. Right now, it just has the drawings and the link to the water video.
Thanks, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that's the last one. Should we call it? Okay. Well, again, last thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night and stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.